Like, he's my absolute number one. He's the only investigator that I trust. My name is Sarah Hardy Cooper, and I'm a family law attorney here in Reno, Nevada. I have known Dustin for approximately 15 years. He is my go-to person for all investigative work and works on a variety of projects for me. Some of those projects include drug testing, surveillance, background checks. He's tracked down people who didn't want to be found for me, all sorts of stuff. I have recommended Dustin to colleagues. I have recommended Dustin to even clients and friends who weren't even using my services who may be in need of his skills. For drug testing in particular, it's an invaluable resource. So you are not going to get the same kind of attention from a place that does, like a national place that does drug testing, as you would with Dustin. With Dustin, I can call him anytime and say, hey, I have a particular set of problems I need to deal with. I have someone that I need to catch with drugs, and can you be available to me if I call you on a weeknight at 5 p.m. for the next day? And he's always available. He always works with me on his schedule to make things happen. In family law cases, we often need to do drug testing because there's an issue of controlled substance use in the family related to kids or other things. And so during those times, we need a special touch when it comes to being able to prove that someone is using, or sometimes I'll also use Dustin's services to prove that my client wasn't using. Either way, Dustin can help you get the information you need in order to put that case forward. He's also, because he's a skilled investigator, he's aware of what's happening when he's doing that sort of drug testing. And so he will report back the behavior that he recognizes, what's happened, whether someone has made contact. He's always available to put together an affidavit for me, and he's even testified in court for me related to behavior surrounding drug testing. One example of how I've used his services for actual investigations was when I had a case where the father was unknown, and my client was seeking to adopt this child, and we needed to determine who the father of this child was so that we could either obtain his consent for the other woman to adopt, or to terminate his parental rights because he had abandoned the child. This case involved Dustin doing some pretty significant witness interviews in a fairly sketchy area of this town, and he obtained so much information that was very valuable. And even though we were not able to actually track down the father, we were able to put forth enough evidence that we had done our due diligence to obtain it, and we found out much more information than maybe we should have. It was a fun case, and it was good to work with Dustin on that. Dustin is also good for process service, and in particular the more difficult of the process serves. I've used him several times in tracking down people in other counties, other areas, and then eventually find them so that we could actually serve them when they've been avoiding service. I've also used Dustin's services to do background checks. He's actually gone the extra mile and obtained from other counties and other states charging documents, judgments, things of that sort, which have really helped me organize my cases. And one other case that I used Dustin on, and this was actually related to a drug testing case. The other side was, we knew that he was using methamphetamines and he'd had some mental health issues. He'd also made some threats against my client, and veiled threats against me as well. So when we were going to court, he had just lost his most recent attorney, and I asked Dustin to come to court with us, not only to do the drug testing, but because I knew that I could trust him to be a watchful eye as to things that were going on, because we were worried about the father being mentally unstable and perhaps creating some violence at the court or around the courthouse. I felt more comfortable having Dustin there watching our back. I just cannot say enough good things about Dustin, his skills, his reliability, accessibility, competence. He's the best.